Now it's 6:30.
She really felt like this happened not just to her, but to the whole community.
8 people are injured and a man is in custody after what police are calling an anti-Semitic attack in Colorado. The latest details of the violent incident.
Plus, as the legal battle over Trump's tariffs continue, administration officials remain confident.
Tariffs are not going away.
Why officials say the president's tariffs are here to stay.
And the Ohio Senate is gearing up to vote on the controversial state budget. What provisions could change before the bill reaches the governor's desk? Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Ty Carpenter.
And I'm Megan Acker. Welcome to Newswatch.
It's finally starting to feel like summer here in Athens, but will those blue skies stick around?
For more, let's turn to forecaster Steve Nedlick.
Yeah, Ty, you really nailed it. It is really starting to feel like summer out here. We reached around 80 degrees today and clear skies, so we can expect that over the next few days. Now, again, right now, clear skies, nothing around for us, so we can really get out and enjoy this sunshine over the next few days as this high pressure is really starting to set up. Now, again, it's pretty widespread. All that sunshine is heating up a lot of southern Ohio. As you get more north, you're starting to see those temperatures drop a little bit, but as we get more south, those temperatures start to rise a little bit. However, as for tonight, it's so dry out there that these temperatures are going to really start to drop as we get into the evening hours. So make sure you bring maybe a hat and a hoodie if you have any plans tonight, as it could get pretty chilly. And then looking for tomorrow, this warmer weather is going to start to really heat up as we have that dry air in the area. But again, those morning temperatures are going to be pretty low, so be on the lookout for that. Stay tuned for my full forecast to find out more and when we can expect some rain this weekend.
CarFit is an event designed to improve the safety of older drivers behind the wheel, since older drivers are more likely to die or get seriously injured in car accidents. Newswatch reporter Noah Cavan has more.
So it's going to get you adjusted and stuff to make sure everything's safe. Is that okay?
Sure. Tajaya Stone is helping this driver make sure his car is fit for safety. She's checked things such as his mirrors.
Yeah, just let us know when you stop seeing me.
His seat belt.
Does it feel like it's on your pelvis or it's more on your stomach, the part that's over your lap?
And his blind spots.
If you turn your head like over your shoulder, can you see me?
Stone is one of many Ohio University summer scholars helping at the CarFit event at the Athens County Fairgrounds on Saturday. She says making sure all those things are set correctly is important for older drivers.
They're getting up there in age, like they're more fragile and can't really bounce back as we would.
According to the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, older drivers are far more likely to be killed or seriously injured in a car crash because of body fragility. According to the CDC, in 2022, 740 senior citizens were hospitalized and 25 killed because of car crashes each day. CarFit aims to reduce those numbers.
CarFit prevents traffic fatalities and serious injuries by making sure that people are fit in their car. Is your steering wheel 10 inches away from you? Are you able to move your neck easily to see out your blind spots? These are all things that make people feel more confident in their car and safer in their vehicle.
These standards help out drivers, even if their car is loaded with safety features.
Cars are made with a lot more safety features now, but you still don't want to rely just on those safety features because they can malfunction.
The 20-minute procedure is capped off with a honk and a round of applause. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Noah Cavan in Athens.
There are 3 upcoming CarFit events in Southeast Ohio: June 13th in New Lexington, June 18th in Caldwell, and June 21st in Marietta. For more information, visit the website you see on your screen. One campaign aims to reduce the stigma of recovery in Appalachian, Ohio, and beyond.
Newswatch reporter Talia Milowich has more. Talia?
Recovery Reframed is a campaign that takes portraits of those who have been in recovery for at least a year.
So 1, 2,
with each click of the shutter and each image print, Recovery Reframed is hoping to reduce the stigma of addiction.
It's the smiles, the stories. It's always the stories. It's lovely to hear the stories of recovery from everybody.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but the project asks people to write about their journey using just a single word or phrase.
Each participant wants to tell their story in their words, so that they do have control over that narrative.
So far, the project has held sessions in 9 counties across Southeast Ohio and West Virginia, and taken around 90 portraits. Z, who is an artist with the Athens Photo Project, says she knows the power of sharing your story firsthand.
Every time you tell your story to somebody, it kind of changes. And for me personally, when I was telling my story, it was a little bit of relief each time.
The project director, Fisher Wallace, says the impact of Recovery Reframed goes beyond its participants.
This child seeing that their mother is in recovery and moving through that, I mean, that is changing generational trauma.
Recovery Reframed plans to continue growing their campaign by sharing stories in drug courts and in communities deeply affected by the opioid crisis.
I think it has the potential to have a huge impact on other people in early recovery.
The portraits are currently on display in Athens public libraries throughout the month of June. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Talia Milowich in Athens. The campaign continues to pave the way for those in recovery as they expand to more counties with even more portraits. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Talia Milowich, live in studio.
Thanks, Talia. A proposed amendment to the state budget could cost small counties thousands from lodging taxes. The amendment would require small counties like Athens making more than $500,000 in lodging tax to redirect 2/3 of that money to other services, leaving only 1/3 of those funds for that county's Conventions and Services Bureau, which runs tourist attractions like the Hocking Hills. Officials say without that money, they may have to close their offices and lay off staff, while supporters say the diverted funds would support county infrastructure. Southeast Ohio food banks are struggling to keep up with demand amid federal funding cuts. Earlier this year, the Trump administration cut millions from food assistance programs like the Emergency Food Assistance Program and two COVID-era programs that gave food banks and schools money to buy food from local farms. For food banks in rural areas, those cuts come at an even higher cost. Without many local grocery stores, pantries rely heavily on state and federal commodities. The Morgan County Pantry had to cut down the amount of food they give to patrons, and officials say they expect to make more cuts in the coming months.
The Ohio Senate still has to vote on the state's budget bill, but one provision could undergo changes. As of now, the budget bill puts a cap on how much cash public school districts are allowed to carry over each year. If districts exceed the 30% cap, county budget commissions must lower tax levies for homeowners the following tax year. The Senate GOP hasn't said whether it will approve this provision, with some officials saying the cap is too low and doesn't provide schools with enough money to address emergencies, like construction or maintenance work. Officials expect the Senate to vote on the budget June 12th.
President Donald Trump's fight to fire federal employees is back at the Supreme Court. Today, administration officials filed an emergency appeal to reverse a lower court's order. Last week's order blocked the administration's sweeping layoffs and major reorganization efforts at federal agencies. Critics say those efforts go well beyond constitutional boundaries. However, the U.S. Solicitor General said controlling the federal agency workforce is a key piece of the president's authority. More than a dozen unions, nonprofits, and local governments are behind the lawsuit. It's seen as a case with enormous implications for the president's power to reshape the federal government. At least 8 people are injured after what police say was a makeshift flamethrower was used in Boulder, Colorado.
Now that a suspect is in custody, Lee Waldman has the latest on what authorities are calling a targeted anti-Semitic attack.
There's a male with a blowtorch setting people on fire.
Chaos in Boulder, Colorado Sunday as a man yelling "Free Palestine" allegedly used a makeshift flamethrower and Molotov cocktails to set people on fire during a Jewish community event.
I need more ambulance. Send me at least 4 or 5.
We got bombarded with lots of 911s. I know that there was at least one party rolling around in flames.
Witnesses describe seeing the flames as people poured buckets of water onto burn victims. At least 8 people were hurt between the ages of 52 and 88, according to authorities. Among the injured is a Holocaust survivor. 2 victims were airlifted to the Denver metro area, with one victim, quote, very seriously injured, police said.
She really felt like this happened not just to her, but to the whole community and the Jewish community and the larger community. This was a trauma that affects a lot of people.
The suspect had been identified as 45-year-old Mohammed Sabri Solomon, according to the FBI. Boulder County jail records show he was booked Sunday on multiple felony charges, including 1 count of explosives or incendiary devices used during a felony, and charged with a federal hate crime. Solomon is not a U.S. citizen and overstayed a tourist visa, officials said. One law enforcement source said after committing the attack, Solomon said, quote, "I did it to avenge my people."
We will continue to support the victims and help uncover the events leading up to this terrible attack.
Solomon is being held on a $10 million bond, according to jail records. I'm Lee Walden reporting.
Coming up, officials say Trump's tariffs aren't going anywhere. This amid growing tensions between the U.S. and China over a temporary trade deal.
And what a new study reveals about the job market for recent college graduates.
Summer heat is here. Find out if it sticks around next.
For the past 25 years, Henry Louis Gates Jr. has partnered with PBS to create programs that help us to see how we're all part of the American fabric that is woven together in a tapestry of backgrounds, experiences, hopes, and dreams. Join us for an inside look at Finding Your Roots and other recent works in Henry Louis Gates Jr., The Fabric of America.
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
We didn't know anything about art. We just thought it was a quilt, something to keep you warm.
Not ever knowing a quilt would take you that far. This is their prayer being answered. They didn't have anything else to give us, and the quilts are going all over the world.
I will always love you. Wednesday at 10 on WOUB.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
The age of discovery is now. It's like magic.
Act like you're having a good time.
I am.
Isn't it wonderful?
Hey, I can do better than that.
Brace yourself. The world's changing.
Very poetic.
It's one of the coolest animal stories on the planet.
This role as a caregiver is an emotional ride.
Be ready to be amazed and have that wonder.
It's been a sunny, dry, kind of summer-like day today here in Athens, with temperatures topping out around 80 and clear skies. Now, this wasn't just felt here, it was felt all over southern Ohio, with highs 74 in Zanesville, 77 in Charleston, and again 78 in Athens. So it's really starting to heat up and start to feel a little bit like summer around here. Now, with all of this in play, we do have to take a look up north. There are some wildfires going on in Canada, and that's going to start having a little bit of effect with us in terms of haze. Now, we don't have any advisory warnings out for the air right now, but it could be coming in the coming days, so be on the lookout for that. So we have that coming down with us as this high pressure starts to move out. And actually, over in Dayton, they do already have the air quality alerts, so that may be coming our way as we go overnight into tomorrow morning, so be on the lookout for that. Now, the only silver lining with that is with that haze, there may be a chance for some pretty spectacular sunsets the next few days, as that smoke plays a little bit of a role in making those colors pop when the sunset comes on. Now, looking tonight, overnight lows of 50 because there's just no clouds really around, and that dry air is really going to cool off big time. So if you have any plans tonight, make sure you dress accordingly, as it could get pretty chilly. Now again, we're still under this high pressure system that we've been dealing with the past few days, which has really given us this really nice summer weather, but it's going to start to move out. And as we get into tomorrow night is when we're really going to start to see the smoke as opposed to just the haze. It's going to become a little bit more widespread as it drops down from Canada, so be on the lookout for that. Now, along with that, we get a ton of sun tomorrow. So a high of 86 and a low of 62. So we're really going to start getting that summertime heat. So maybe if you have any plans, go to the beach this week. This will be the week to do it. Now, once we get into Wednesday afternoon, we start to see the high pressure push out into the east, and we're going to start to see this cold front. I say cold front, but it's only going to be about 80 degrees when it gets here. We may have some showers that pop in ahead of it, but for the most part, it's going to be Thursday night that we're really going to start to see the rain come in from this. So be on the lookout for that, as we're going to have a pretty dry week for the most part. But once we get to about Thursdays, when we're going to start to see a little bit of a change. Now, taking a look at our full 7-day forecast, Friday is when we're really going to start to see these widespread showers start to affect us. But again, even with that cold front coming in, we still have a lot of these really high temperatures, especially compared to what we were seeing last week. So it's really going to start to feel like summer around here. So we may have kicked those spring showers for the last time. So maybe break out the shorts and the t-shirts.
All right, well, thanks, Steve. You mentioned we have a little bit of rain coming our way towards the end of the week here. We have that Copperheads game opener this Friday, or home opener this Friday. Any chance that game still happens?
You know, unfortunately, it looks pretty widespread for Friday, so I don't know that we have a great chance for that game to get in, but fingers crossed, because everyone loves baseball.
All right, well, we'll be hoping for it. Thanks, Steve.
Exactly.
Oil prices made a significant jump on Wall Street Monday morning. The rise comes after Ukraine's large-scale drone strikes deep inside Russia over the weekend. The attack is stoking geopolitical concerns. U.S. oil climbed nearly 3.5% to $62.85 a barrel. Brent crude, the world benchmark, jumped just over 4.5% to $65 to $67 a barrel. It's the first time in months that concerns about the Russia-Ukraine war have sharply lifted energy prices. Shifting to the national stage, as the Trump administration faces a legal battle over the president's authority to impose tariffs using emergency economic powers, U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says the tariffs are, quote, not going away. Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook is at the White House with details.
After a federal appeals court last week temporarily reinstated many of the Trump administration's sweeping tariffs, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick is making it clear that he does not believe the tariffs will go away anytime soon, adding in an interview with Fox News that even if some of President Donald Trump's recent actions are blocked in court, that there are other authorities that can be used.
The president's going to win like he always does, but rest assured, tariffs are not going away. He has so many other authorities that even in the weird and unusual circumstance where this was taken away, we just bring on another or another or another.
The 90-day pause on Trump's so-called Liberation Day tariffs, which had imposed levies on more than 100 countries, is set to expire early next month.
That's the deadline, and the president's just going to determine what rates people have. If they can't get a deal done, President Trump is going to determine what deal there's going to be.
This is all happening as the administration is negotiating potential trade deals with various countries. Trump recently said that China totally violated its trade agreement, leading to an apparent halt in talks between the two countries. In response to those comments, China accused the United States of, quote, provoking new economic and trade frictions. Reporting at the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Recent college graduates may have more difficulty finding their first job. The overall national jobless rate stands at 4.2%. However, Oxford Economics says the unemployment rate for people aged 22 to 27 years old with at least a bachelor's degree is consistently higher than the national rate. The Bureau of Labor Statistics shows the unemployment rate for those aged 20 to 24 is even worse at 8.2%. That's nearly twice as high as the national average. According to professional networking platform LinkedIn, entry-level hiring is down 23% compared to March 2020. Next, tick-borne illnesses are on the rise. What experts say you can do to keep yourself safe.
It's the greatest spectacle on Earth.
This is a monster. It's a big one.
They'd all disappeared until now.
PBS viewers believe that businesses that sponsor PBS on WOUB Public Television have a commitment to quality and excellence. Sponsoring a PBS television program offers your business a unique opportunity to connect with a highly engaged, loyal, and trustful audience in a clutter-free environment, leading to increased brand awareness, positive perception, and potential for higher customer engagement. Your sponsorship is important to the community, and the rewards come back to you in the form of loyal customers. Align your organization with America's most trusted news and public affairs network. WOUB Public Television is worthy of your trust. Contact Corporate Support Director Kathy Malesic at 740-593-4909 or online at woub.org/support.
We're on the precipice of a great discovery.
I love it.
Welcome!
Whoa,
Nelly! Let's set this palace on fire.
I love it.
Welcome to the News Hour.
What does it mean politically?
I love it.
Oh.
Fasten your seatbelt. I love it. I love it.
Delighted to hear it. You make a good team.
Ohio's measles rates remain steady for the second week in a row as outbreaks increase across the country. There are 34 measles cases in Ohio, with major outbreaks in Ashtabula County with 16 and Knox County with 20. Allen, Cuyahoga, Holmes, and Defiance counties each have one confirmed case. There were 42 more cases nationwide, with Texas's numbers increasing by 10 since last week. There are now 1,088 confirmed measles cases in the U.S. Tick-borne disease cases are on the rise in the U.S. The number of these illnesses reported each year has quadrupled over the past 2 decades, according to CDC data. And experts believe many more cases are not being reported. Mandy Gaither has more on how you can keep yourself safe.
They're a growing threat. Tick-borne illnesses are on the rise in the U.S., and ticks are out now through early fall.
It does seem like it'll be sort of a hot year for ticks.
Experts believe the increase in tick-borne diseases is due to several factors, including climate change. The rising heat and humidity helps ticks thrive, growing tick populations, and improved disease tracking. While there are several illnesses that ticks can cause, Lyme disease is by far the most common. More than 89,000 cases of Lyme disease were reported to the CDC by state health departments and the District of Columbia in 2023, but the agency says many more aren't reported. If left untreated, Lyme disease can cause serious health problems.
Early symptoms of Lyme disease, unfortunately, are going to look a lot like the flu. So there'll be things like fever, fatigue, headaches, and muscle aches.
There may also be a rash that looks like a bullseye. Experts say to protect against ticks by minimizing any exposed skin where they can bite. In areas where they're common, wear long sleeves and long pants, with the pants tucked into your socks, and wear a hat. Also, thoroughly check yourself and your family after spending time in high-risk areas like woods or tall grass. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
There's a bleak prognosis for the world's glaciers according to a new study published in the journal Science. Researchers estimate glaciers will eventually lose nearly 40% of their total mass relative to 5 years ago. That's even if global temperatures stopped rising. The study finds that loss jumps up to 76% if the world continues with the current climate policies in place, and that will likely contribute to rising global sea levels. Glaciers most at risk are in western Canada and the United States, northeast Canada, Scandinavia, and the Russian Arctic. A middle-aged woman with a regular coffee habit could be setting themselves up to live longer and healthier. A study looked at women in their 50s who drank 1 to 3 cups of caffeinated coffee a day. It found they were more likely to reach older age free from major chronic diseases and with good cognitive, physical, and mental health. The conclusions are based on dietary data from more than 47,000 women who were part of the Nurses' Health Study. They were surveyed in middle age and followed for 30 years to understand their rates of death and disease. Researchers also acknowledged factors such as lifestyle and dietary effects in the study. Still ahead, what one zoo is doing to bring enrichment time to its orangutans.
I feel comfortable when I'm in the kitchen.
Fantastic! I do too. It's the best place to be.
You did better than me.
I learned from the best. You know what the next best place is? The table with everybody.
Exactly. I got it.
Okay, another kiss. To invite my friends to cook with me is something I treasure. Tutto fatto, tutto fatto.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
The only things that really interest me are forensics and criminology.
I need her on my team.
The solution lies in looking at it from a different angle.
Patience is the only one who spotted a pattern between those deaths.
Your father was a police officer.
I need to solve the case.
I can't leave a puzzle unsolved any more than you can.
In hospital, you deal with cases. On the district, you deal with people. When mothers come to us, they bring everything they are with them.
There's nothing nicer than a fresh start.
You have done your best. Sometimes our best must be enough.
We're gonna take good care of you. We're with you now.
We all want to know the best way to reduce our risk of being diagnosed with Alzheimer's, improve our memory, and keep our brains sharp. Luckily, there's good news. Science shows that engaging in lifelong learning can have a significant positive impact on our brain health. Please join best-selling author and Harvard-trained neuroscientist Dr. Lisa Genova for Supercharge Your Brain.
Thursday at 9:30 on WOUB.
Wandered into a suburban Cape Town in South Africa. The massive animal was discovered alongside the road on Tuesday, about half a mile inland. Southern elephant seals are the world's largest seal species. They are usually only found in sub-Antarctic regions, so it's a rare sight in South Africa. Locals named the seal Gordon, or Gordy for short. The Cape of Good Hope SPCA was called to help with the situation. They estimate Gordy weighs about 1 ton and is still growing. It took multiple agencies nearly 9 hours to corral him, but Gordy was eventually returned to the sea safely.
A Florida zoo now offers the opportunity to paint up close with an orangutan. The new guest experience is at Zoo Tampa at Lowry Park for $100. Your painting partner for an hour is a 25-year-old Borneo orangutan named Go Yang. It's considered enrichment for Go Yang, and anyone ages 5 and up can sign up. Plus, you get to take your painting home.
You know, guys, I'm not very good at art. I don't know about you guys.
I wouldn't say so. How about you, Ty?
Growing up, I was never too good at painting, but honestly, if you sat me down on the sidewalk, gave me some chalk, I could probably draw you something pretty nice.
You know, honestly, if we're talking about sidewalk chalk, this week is the week to do it because we're not going to have any rain until at least Thursday. Now, as far as tonight, again, mostly clear with those overnight lows sitting at about 50 degrees because we don't have really much moisture in the air, so it's going to allow for that air to cool off pretty quick as soon as that sun goes down. Now, taking a look at the rest of the week, again, that rain doesn't return till maybe late Thursday, so if you want to make any sidewalk art, this is the week to do it. Now, once we get into the weekend, we have a little bit of a chance of showers Friday and Saturday, but for the most part, the biggest threat is Friday as it tapers off by the middle of Saturday. So stay tuned and check your weather apps as you have any plans this weekend.
All right, well, that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Steve Nedlick, I'm Ty Carpenter.
And I'm Megan Acker. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night.
We're on the precipice of a great discovery.